Really happy to say that with me today I've got the new head coach of Milton Keynes Lightning, Doug McKay. Doug, first of all, welcome to Lightning.
Thank you, Chris, very much. Nice to see you and Philip.
So you've been around, you've been in the country for a little while, been doing a little bit of your homework, if you like, because you're already familiar with the Elite League. You've been travelling around a fair bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had an opportunity to go to different rinks, see different teams. The level's spectacular. I mean, it's a big league, skill, speed. The big arena teams are, just spectacular teams. So we've got our work cut out a little bit to recruit and build a competitive team here. But I'm very impressed with the level, the coaching, the managing. It's I have a lot of respect for the league, the players, and the managers, and ownership, of course.
Moving on to the style of play, I mean, every single team and every single coach, if you like, has their own style of team. So day one, when the team hits the ice, whatever team that, however that may look, what is a Doug McKay team going to look like? What style of hockey can we expect?
I mean, Chris, I think from step one is how they compete. I think we'll try to put a competitive team on the ice. Like you say, as we get into the recruiting process, of course we want an exciting team for the fans. Of course we want, a nice brand of hockey. I think to be competitive is all we can ask when we recruit. As the players form a team, I think, again, we want speed, skill, character, work ethic. But the 11 other coaches and managers, they're going to say the same thing. So it just comes down to how the group is going to compete. They're going to be tired. They're going to be injured. I'm not making excuses. They're going to be sick. We're going to play shorthanded. We could go, the truth, weeks without winning. Weeks can mean 4 or 6 games. It's just the league is so good and so competitive. I think depth would be something that we really have to strive for. And I think also, Chris, it would involve, I met your young coach, Lewis Clifford, and I think the development of those players, I think would play a key role too in us moving forward, that as a group, we can start identifying, working with younger players and realize their potential. So to pinpoint it, Chris, I can't really say. Every coach is going to say the same thing, but I'm really adamant that I'd like a team that even when everything goes against us, they compete. They really try to put their best foot forward for themselves, the team, for Graham and Monica, and the fans. It's just so important that they feel, wow, we were thrilled tonight. Win or lose, the team really tried hard, and that's what I'm looking for.
And of course that means a new coach. I'm delighted to say the new coach of the Braehead Clan is with me now. I'm delighted to introduce Pete Russell. Pete, Braehead Clan coach, how does that sound so far?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been away from Scotland for a long time, and this nearly happened last year, and it wasn't the right time for me and my family, and I think this year's been an education, and I needed that, and now I'm coming to the biggest club in Scotland, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm happy about it.
You mentioned coming home. You've been living in England for quite a while. How big was the lure to come home at that point for you?
It was, it's not even that. It's, my wife's English and my daughter's English, and that's a big thing. But my mum and dad live 35 minutes from the ice rink, and my family live in Glasgow. So I think selfishly, it was something that I couldn't turn down, and I really wanted to do. And Mr. Black, I seem to think I was the guy he thought he could trust for the next few years to try and stabilise things.
Now you come from Milton Keynes Lightning, who've had that first season in the Elite League, which of course you saw them through. What did you make of the step up to the Elite League from your point of view? Did you enjoy it for a start?
Listen, everybody knows how tough this league is, and you need a lot of luck sometimes. And at home, we were a really good team. On the road, maybe we pushed the game too much now and again. Maybe we got a little bit excited at times. you know, we had a lot of injuries, and you know, I made some mistakes as well, which is why, you know, a first year coach in this league needs that chance. Milton Keynes has been fantastic for me and fantastic for my family. You know, I've been there for 3 years, got some great relationships there, and now it's about moving to Braehead and creating relationships with the fans there, and getting the players and the fans together, and bringing a brand of hockey that's what Glasgow's all about, a brand where push games and be aggressive in the right ways and be exciting. You know, get people in the building, get them coming off their seats, because that place is a cauldron when it's going.
Absolutely, and of course you've been to Braehead a couple of times last year. What did you make of the Purple Army as an opposing coach?
Yeah, it's unreal. When, you know, I'd never picked Peaks in the national team, and I knew a few weeks ago he was going to come back and haunt me. And he scores that goal with a minute to go, and the noise in there. I stood on the bench and I said to someone on the bench, "Thank God it's not been like this all night," because that was just unbelievable. So, you know, my thing is we have to try and make sure that we make people that excited as much as we can, and we bring that excitement at the start of the game. I mean, you hear them here, they're just the best fans. You know, they're really, really, really good. And I came from some great fans in Milton Keynes. They've got a great core of fans, but I'm pretty excited about the Purple Army for sure.
Panthers Radio with Zynomics, catching up with Rich Chernomaz. Rich, what kind of a coach are you?
Well, they've always said in the past, hard but fair, and you know, I think that the main thing is for as long as I've been coaching professionally over here in Europe, that you know, things have changed. You know, the mindset and the way the players think has changed a lot over the years, and you know, you have to be able to adjust as a coach and find the ways to motivate the players, at the same time be able to take a step back, listen to the things that they have to say, and find a common ground for the players to be able to play to their best ability and be motivated each and every game during the season.
So what kind of a team does Rich put onto the ice? Is it an aggressive team? Is it a forechecking team? Is it a team that just tries to score more goals than the opposition?
Well, we've had a lot of success. I've had a lot of success with having teams that, first of all, you know, have size and have speed, because those are the two things that you can't teach as a coach. And I like to play a very offensive-minded, a very aggressive type of system, you know, and you know, you have to be able to adjust from game to game depending on who you're playing, and you know, for the most part, it's entertaining hockey. We want to play entertaining hockey here because we feel that you know, fans that work hard for their money and want to come and watch entertainment, they want to see that, you know, their players and their team work, and that's what you know, is a big element of my strategy.
All right, we'll get to know more about you as the weeks and the days and the months pass, obviously. Everyone will be asking you who you're going to sign, who you're not going to sign, blah, blah, blah. I just want to ask you one thing. Are you coming to Nottingham to win?
Absolutely. That's the only reason I chose to come here, because, you know, I mean, Corey in the past has had a fair amount of success, but we want to take that to another level, and we want to become a team that is reckoned for every year and every game that we play, and we want to be at the echelon on the top of the standings for years to come. And you know, it's easy to say, and it's another thing to do, but you know, the most important thing is, you know, we give ourselves a chance to win every night.
Work hard and it'll come.
Great, thank you.
You heard it first, folks, right here on Panthers Radio with Zynomics.
You can't have all the same type of players. You can't have all skilled players. You need some role players. You need some stronger players. You need some physical players. You need a couple players to be able to stand up for your team if things get a little bit out of hand sometimes. So it's, to me, it's just putting those players in the right positions and giving them the right roles that are going to help the team be effective and be successful.
You came to playoff weekend, so obviously you saw Nottingham go head-to-head with Sheffield. It was only one game that you obviously saw live for Nottingham, and I mean, the next day was the third, fourth place game, which was very different. But in terms of, did you learn much about that roster from that year, and who maybe you would want to sign back for the next season from what you saw there?
Well, I don't really think that
whether it's in a positive way or a negative way, when you only see one game, to get a real true assessment of what the players can really bring to the table, whether they're British or whether they're imports in that regard. But I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually not really unaware, but a little bit shocked that a guy like Clark, for his age, still skates as well as he does. And so, with him retiring, I mean, that's a little bit of a hole that's going to need to be filled. But at the same time, a guy like Ollie Betteridge, who's young and coming up, and seeing Kelsall in the second game. I mean, those guys are going to be quite important to the process for the future of the Nottingham team. And you gotta, everybody starts from ground zero with me, regardless if they're British and or imports. And everybody's going to get their chance. And the three things that I really look for that are very important in my overall philosophy and has been for years. One is work ethic. Two is compete level. And three is consistency. And I think those three things, because those are all three things that you can control. First of all, as a player, there's other things that tend to happen that are make you effective or don't give you a chance to be more effective, that you can't control. But as long as you stick to those three elements, you're always going to give yourself a greater opportunity to play more and get the ice time as a player feels like he deserves at times.